Oh man. What is up, geeks and geekettes? It's another episode of the Countdown to the Geekcast. My name is Steady. With me on this episode is a man, the myth, the legend. You know him as JC. What's going on, man?
Hey everybody, what's going on? What's
All
with
right,
this music?
I'm gonna turn it off.
Okay.
I could hear it at first, and then it went boom. It was just gone, so I have no idea. Hey, listen, it's been a while. We took a week off last week. We all had a lot of stuff going on, but it's been a very exciting week. A lot of news to talk about, and we're glad that you're here. On the docket today, we're going to be talking about Heels. Finally,
Talking
three
wrestling on this
episodes.
show. What's up? Yes.
Yeah, wrestling, TV series. It's all the same. It's all good there.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be talking about the first three episodes of Heels a little later on in the show. If you haven't seen it, we'll give a spoiler warning before we get into that. But just right off the bat, phenomenal show. I hope you're watching it. If you're not, it's on the Stars Network. Figure out a way to get it. If you got to get the app, get the app. But we'll talk about Heels a little bit later on in the show. We might also dive into Spider-Man No Way Home, the trailer, once again. We did the trailer reaction. Hopefully you got a chance to see that. If you haven't, our video is on Facebook as well as on YouTube. But there was some more information that came out afterwards, so we might talk about that a little later on. And then Marvel's What If series. I really hope you're watching that. I strongly encourage you watch that show because it dives into like every single phase one movie, and you just love going back and taking a trip down memory lane and seeing how different situations and scenarios are panning out. So we're going to talk about Marvel's What If episode 3, which dropped last Wednesday. Episode 4 drops this Wednesday, and it's revolving all around Doctor Strange. So can't wait to talk about that. But first, we're going to talk about GamesCon. GamesCon, which had their first stream last Wednesday. Hopefully, you were online with me. We were going through all the trailer announcements, all the video game announcements. It was fun to watch. Hopefully, you had a chance to check it out. JC, I don't think you
Yeah.
did.
Bits and pieces. Mainly, the main thing I caught from it was the Ninja Turtles trailer. The Shredder's Revenge looks really good. So, especially with the being played, able to play as April. How about that?
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah. There's actually that game and another game where they're gonna make her a playable character, and I forget which one the other one is. But I have a list. I have a list here of probably the best or the biggest video game announcements coming out of GamesCon. So if you didn't get a chance to check it out, right now is your chance to hear what went down. We're gonna go ahead and start with Saints Row. It's been a while since we've had a Saints Row game. They're sort
Yeah.
of rebooting the franchise, and the next game will drop. You don't have to wait that long. February of next year. You a big Saints Row guy?
Not really. It's one of those games I never really got to play. I know the third one I think was on sale on Steam right now. I remember
Yeah.
seeing that, something like that. Yeah, or it might even be available for free for PlayStation Plus next month. It's rumored, so keep an eye on that. But no, I never really got to. I never played it too much. I know it was like a almost like a GTA type thing. Uh,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, and I've played I think two of them. I got to demo the last one at PAX South. It was fantastic. I love the gameplay. I love just the way it played. I love the powers and the abilities you had. This one though looks like it's just they're taking a huge step back. They're trying to ground it a little bit, which is totally fine. So I can't wait to see what they do with that. This was probably a trailer you got a chance to check out because I posted it a couple of times. The announcement of Marvel's Midnight Suns dropping March of 2022, and it's by the same developers of SOCOM. The gameplay will premiere September 1st, so we don't know exactly what the gameplay looks like. There are some rumors it'll be a lot like SOCOM,
So
But
third person shooter multiplayer with X Men or Marvel characters.
hopefully, but this is what's
Yeah.
kind of strange. They actually listed it as tactical RPG.
Oh
Tactical is
boy.
very vague. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of stealth, a lot of strategy, puzzles, that kind of thing. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, did you get a chance to check out the trailer? What do you
I
think
didn't
about
get to
it?
see the trailer, no. So it was a very busy weekend.
It was a
So
very busy weekend.
yeah.
All you Call of Duty fans out there, we have a bunch of them from the Geekcast, a lot of friends of ours. Vanguard drops November 5th. The trailer dropped as well as at Gamescom. Looks insane. Can't wait for that. Halo, a lot of Halo news. A
Hmm.
Series 2 Halo Infinite Wireless controller, as well as a limited edition Xbox console are on pre-sale at this moment, and they both look gorgeous. I I'm considering getting the console. We'll see how it goes, but yeah, check those out. There's actually some photos on our timeline. If you get a chance, check out our timeline and check out those photos.
Yeah.
I feel like you're gonna enjoy this one. Lego Star Wars, the entire Skywalker saga, out spring of next year. How
Hmm.
about it?
That's. I mean, the Legos games are great. Even when they do Star Wars too. To get the entire Skywalker saga is pretty interesting. I wonder if there's any sort of like extra little tidbits they might add in there. They always tend to have fun with the Lego games, but that's kind of a fun thing, for kids to kind of play through a Star Wars game as well. So it'll be fun.
And if my son was a huge Lego kind of franchise
Hmm.
series video game buff, and so we would get like all of them like at one after another, and they would just get better and better and better and better. Like the levels would get more expansive.
Yeah,
The
puzzles.
the puzzles get more intricate, a little bit more complex. The graphics, the gameplay is a little quicker, a little smoother. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they do now. The footage that we saw on the live stream looked great.
Hmm.
And when we say the entire Skywalker saga, we're talking episode 1 all the way to episode 9, and so every battle in between. So just imagine your favorite Star Wars battle, Hoth, or the finale of Revenge of the Sith, or whatever it might be. Maybe it's something in The Last Jedi. I don't know. And picture that all Legos, but still as epic as it was in the movies. That's going to be the Lego Star Wars Skywalker saga, out spring of next year. Outlast. Outlast is coming back. They announced the Outlast Trials. They didn't say when, but sometime next year. I'm a big scary video game guy, so
That's all you.
Outlast is great, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Let's see, Jurassic World Evolution 2 out November 9th. You don't have a long time to wait. November 9th for Jurassic World Evolution 2. Graphics look insane. Far Cry 6, everybody's waiting on that. October 7th release date. Had some more footage. We've had trailers for a while, but more footage there.
Yeah.
New World, September 28th. That just looks better and better. I'm actually excited to play that. New World, the MMO game. And then this one, I actually wrote down specifically for you because I feel like this is going to be a must on your Nintendo Switch list. Jumanji: The Curse Returns, announced for Nintendo Switch. JC, your thoughts?
Hasn't we've done so much this past 2 years? I don't know if I want to play Jumanji right now, whether it's digital or not. It's been that crazy. Just don't start a game you can't finish, people, and just be careful playing this game. We've had enough go on this past year or two.
If you had a chance to check out the gameplay footage, it looks kind of in the same vein as like Mario Party. So
Okay.
sort of avatars
Mini
within a
games.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of like you're in this one space playing Jumanji, the board game within that space, and every time you roll, something sadistic happens. and so the elephants will run through the room, or the crocodiles will swim
Mhm.
past you. So I am excited, and I think you're going to be excited. Anybody from our generation is going to be excited to sort of trying to immerse themselves within the Jumanji virtual game. I think it's exciting. So
Yeah.
if you haven't seen that, head on to our Facebook page, find the stream for GamesCon, which dropped again. It was last Wednesday, and there's just so many great trailers in there. You're gonna want to see all of them. But yeah, those are my top picks from GamesCon. Very exciting. There's another. Actually, no, the Video Game Awards are in December, and so
Yep, I
I
believe
want to put
so.
together a live stream that way we could do a little bit more instant reactions, instant discussions. So be sure to follow with us. I love the Game Awards. They just dropped so many new trailers, so many major game announcements at that show. It's all going to be live streamed, and so check it out with us when that comes around. How about that?
All right.
All right. So that was GamesCon. We got Joda. Joda's in
Hey,
the chat.
Joda.
What's going on, sir? He's on YouTube following us. Hope you're doing well, man. And JC, you and I have been talking about this for a while. We've been
Yeah.
talking about this offline for a while, and we can finally come together and discuss it now. The TV show Heels. I'm going to start out by saying I don't think there's anything major we can spoil, right? There's no like
Mm, I
crazy
mean,
twist or anything.
there's a few things, especially this last episode got pretty graphic, but I mean, there's a few things. We'll just go ahead and say spoiler warning just in case. We're gonna be talking about the first three episodes of Heels, and people came in not knowing what the storyline was going to be, myself included. So, uh, I'd say yeah, let's put a spoiler warning just in case.
All
So,
right. I'll say mild spoilers. I'm going to stay away from anything very, very detailed because
mm,
I want people to watch this show, and I don't think there's anything major. 3 episodes in that we can
mm,
spoil. But let's go ahead and talk about Heels. Heels is a TV series that's based on a fictional
mm,
wrestling family in Georgia, sort of an indie production, right?
pretty much.
And it mainly revolves around two brothers, um, and they are pretty much what any two brothers are like that might have wrestled when they were little, but now they're adults and they still wrestle. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of uh, head banging between the two of them, a lot of back and forth, a lot of turmoil. And the bigger brother, he is played by Stephen Amell. You all know him as Arrow from the CW, and the younger brother is known as Ace. He is played by Alexander
Ludwig.
Ludwig,
Ludwig. Yep.
who I'm going to talk about him a lot in a second. But it's a great show about a family dynamic that revolves around the indie world of wrestling and all the intricate things that go on behind it, the struggles, the injuries, the stress, the fatigue. If you wanted to get just a little bit of a glimpse in sort of what goes on behind the scenes with regards to putting on an indie promotion, I think this is a very realistic one, and there's a lot to take away from it, and it's pretty exciting. JC, what do you think,
Yeah,
man?
it's very much. I mean, independent's a good way to say it, but like for those that are like old school fans, this is kind of like a territory, a wrestling territory. This is how it was. They're the only promotion in town. It's a weekly event. I mean, people are tailgating before going to this wrestling show. They have like a little farmhouse that's like their dome. It's kind of cool that it does give a glimpse as to how one person's trying to come up with the storylines. How do you keep the story going and balance with the talent that they do have and everything like that? And they're still trying to compete against some other people trying to come in and take some of the fans and everything like that. So,
No,
but they do a good job of kind of really illustrating some things about wrestling, like always keeping it kayfabe, always keeping it storyline, always kind of acting like your character. Um, if you're a face in the ring, and especially in a small town where everyone knows you, be a face around town. If you're a heel in the ring, well, you got a little bit of a excuse to just be an asshole to people, you know. So, but they do capture about Ace is this young hothead. He's going to be this big star, but he just doesn't get the little things. The little things that can make him better, the things that are important to people, as evidenced in the very first episode.
And we'll backtrack a little bit. Heels, the term heel, is what we would consider a villain in the wrestling world.
Mhm.
And if you are the opposite of that, if you are more of the good guy, they call you a babyface
Or a
or
face for
just a
short.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. And so that's why the name of the show sounds odd to a lot of people. But all of that jargon, that wrestling jargon, you're gonna pick that up quickly because they just say it nonstop on the
Yeah.
show. And
Hmm.
so I think that's great for anybody that's either new to wrestling. Uh, this week we had a lot of discussion between wrestlers and non-wrestlers on our Facebook page, which was fun and hilarious to watch. So glad everybody's having a good time online. Keep it friendly, guys. It's
Yeah.
all in good fun. But I want to talk about Alex for a little bit. Alexander, who plays younger brother Ace, I've liked a lot of his work. Going back to Lone Survivor, he was in that movie with Mark Wahlberg. It featured soldiers overseas that were ambushed by, I think, Al Qaeda at the time. He was great in that. And I also have loved him on Vikings. He's been on Vikings for not the entire time because he was played by a younger character in the first couple of seasons. But as his character grew older, Alexander took over, and it blew my mind because going from some of his older characters over to a Viking with just how buff he looked and getting the accent down perfectly and just how charismatic he was because he's sort of like the invincible hero on the show. Nobody
Right.
could kill him, nobody could scratch him. Um, he was just incredible on Vikings, and so he blew my mind. Is what I'm trying to say. He does not miss a step on this show,
Mm-mm.
and that's not taking anything away from Stephen Amell because I feel like I like him better in this role than as Oliver Queen on Arrow, which he was very good in, but he just
Yeah.
feels like it's more organic on this show. He's a little bit more genuine, and Alex is just fantastic. He's based on the story. He's carrying a lot of the emotional weight,
Mhm.
the emotional beats. He's asked to do more than any other character 3 episodes in, and he's not missing anything. So, bravo to the writers of the show, the cast, the crew, but especially Alexander. He looks incredible, and he is acting his ass off on the show. If you're a fan of Alex, I highly recommend you check out this show because the same way I was blown away between his prior works leading up to Vikings, I think you're going to feel that same way because him on this series as compared to Vikings is like another just 180. It's incredible.
Yeah.
He's doing a great job. He's my favorite character on the show right now.
Yeah. He's got the most to learn too. He wants to be cheered. He wants to be cheered all the time, but he doesn't have to understand. He doesn't understand that if you want to be good, you have to play both sides of it. You're gonna have to play a heel at some point. The fans are
Absolutely.
gonna fans nowadays are really. It's like they have to hate you on some level. They have to hate somebody. You know,
Yeah,
and a lot of the top heels can make just as much money as the top faces. So yeah.
absolutely. The show is great. It's more of a drama. There's a lot of little twists and turns you don't see coming, but it primarily revolves around the family dynamic, and so it's very relatable in a sense because it's still brothers butting heads, thinking they know more than the other. But I highly recommend it. We're both watching it. We both love it. Tina's also watching it. She loves it.
Tina loves it. Yeah, she
So
loves it too.
if you haven't started watching it, we haven't spoiled anything. Go check out Heels. It's on the Stars Network. It's also on the Stars app. And don't
Which
watch it with
actually, if you
little
have
kids.
the no, it's definitely not. It's TVMA for a very good reason. But if you have Stars, you subscribe to Stars with your TV provider, or just a Stars subscriber in general. It's actually available on the app during the day it comes out. So you can be watching it at breakfast or lunch that day, and then it'll debut on the actual Stars channel in the evening. But if you have the app and you have an account on there, you can actually go and watch Heels on the app before it even debuts on the Stars channel. So something to think about.
It's pretty great.
Mm-hmm. Makes it a lot easier.
All right, we want to know if you are watching Heels. Let us know what you think about it. Who's your favorite character? What's been your favorite episode so far? And there have been at least one wrestling cameos on the show, and it was pretty insane. Two. Who was the other
There's
one? Who was the
two.
first one?
Doc Gallows was in the very first episode. He
Ah,
wrestles. He's a part of the Good Brothers. He was in part of the Battle Royal, and he can be seen in the locker room in the very first episode.
nice.
But the other one is the obvious Ricky Rabies, played by none other than CM Punk, which is pretty awesome. So uh, he put up a video, a little time lapse. It took them 3 hours every day to cover all of his tattoos for him to play that role. And they actually did work a match with Stephen Amell and everything like that. They did like a live session yesterday or last night where they were talking about how it went down, and Punk really kind of credited taking this role as what really one of the major steps that convinced him to get back into wrestling and to sign with AEW. So Stephen Amell on so many levels, thank you for casting CM Punk for this role. I think wrestling fans were so happy that you did. You know,
Some heroes don't wear capes.
no,
Sometimes they wear wrestling boots. That's right. And not to give anything away, but if you are a CM Punk fan, you're gonna want to watch episode 3.
definitely.
It's you would never expect to see
Oh my
him
god,
in this type of role, and he's also great at it. It's like it's not opposite, but he plays sort of this fast talking country
Southern
down
guy.
south kind of guy. Yeah, and so he's got a southern drawl, and he just like nails the accent, nails the character down. It sounds like it should be easy, but this feels like a very difficult character to nail down, and he
Yeah,
does it flawlessly. I loved it.
it's so well done. So and it's I really want that character in AEW. I think they already photoshopped Ricky Rabies is all elite. For Halloween, can he just like come out with that entrance with the possum on the drone and everything like that? It was so funny. It was so funny.
Oh, I
Uh,
wish I could have seen your face when
oh
that
god, Tina,
happened.
Tina and I were just dying laughing when this freaking possum just. I was like, "What the hell?" I was like, "Okay, that's genius. This has to show up in AEW now." So
Holy crap!
yeah,
Again, a lot of credit to the producers, the showrunners, and the writers of this show. It's so damn interesting, and it it could be cheesy and it could be corny because of the topic and because of these flamboyant sort of characters that are out there. But it's not. It never is. It never feels that way. It's a
no,
very grounded drama that again surrounds the family dynamic, and yeah, I
and
highly recommend it.
it's funny because Tina and I catch ourselves thinking, well, what if they book it this way and this way? We're like trying to book what they're going to do in the actual promotion for the GWL, more so than what we think might happen in the future episodes. So that's the wrestling fan in us.
Please do.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't even want to think about it. I'm excited with what they're
Look,
doing.
I'm just going to say predict this. I hope Crystal turns on Ace and goes face, and they do a intergender match, and Crystal comes over as like the top star. I think that'd be really cool to do that. So it's just from the bar fight alone, where she kind of ends that, I thought that was hilarious. Just out of nowhere, Hurricane Run on the outside in the parking lot was so funny. So
That was amazing. She nailed it perfectly.
Yeah. So she knows
So
how to
good.
wrestle, but it's that old school mentality where uh, it's a man's world. Women are just the valets, not even allowed in the locker room. But that's why I'm kind of hoping to see that change a bit in this small town, you know? So,
Yeah, especially well, I'll leave it at that. I just say
mhm.
like you can see the writing on the wall a little bit after
Yeah.
episode three, the way she kind of sees her future planning out. So
Yeah.
Heels, yeah, highly recommended. Go check
Check
it
it out.
out. And TVMA, please do not watch it with the little ones. You don't want to
No.
do that. Trust me. All right, switching gears a little bit, we're going to go over to some Marvel talk now and discuss Marvel's What If series on the Disney Plus streaming service, episode 3, which I'm going to go ahead and say is probably my favorite at this point. I'm going to go ahead and read a summary and
Mhm.
then we can go ahead and discuss it. How about that?
All right.
All right. Summary for episode 3 of Marvel's What If series. If you haven't seen it, I'm probably going to spoil a little bit here, so pause this video now, come back and check it. That's your only and last spoiler warning for What If Episode 3. The summary: someone has taken out the Avengers before Fury can bring them together. Tony Stark is poisoned. Thor is killed with an arrow from Hawkeye, who is then murdered while in holding. And the Hulk expands until he explodes. Natasha uncovers Hope Van Dyne accessed the top secret Avenger Initiative files after she had died on a mission. Who's taken out the Avengers? The one and only Hank Pym. Fury confronts Hank, laying the smackdown on Hank over and over again, but Loki has been impersonating Fury the entire time. Loki offers to make a pact, but instead rules all of Midgard, aka Earth. The episode ends with Fury finding Captain Carter and then is joined by the one and only Captain Marvel.
He finds
JC,
Captain America. He didn't find Marvel. He finds Steve Rogers because it's the star on the shield, not the British Union Jack.
oh yeah.
Hmm.
Well, you're right. Finds
Yeah.
the shield, but who is
Mhm.
it then? It
I think it's
shouldn't
Steve
be.
Rogers because, well, I mean, it would be Steve Rogers. I mean, he would still be frozen at this point, you know.
I
So,
suppose, but he
mhm.
didn't get the serum.
Maybe he did
Maybe he did.
because
We'll see. We'll see
this.
what
I
happens.
mean, yeah, at this point, he might have been everything stuck in there, but the shield had a star on it, not the Union Jack. So I'm pretty sure it's Steve Rogers on this parallel
That
universe.
that'll be interesting. Let's see what happens.
Mm.
He'll probably take over as the Bucky of this universe then, because we're not gonna have a Bucky if you know,
Yeah,
I can't expect that. So, your thoughts on episode 3 of Marvel's What If series?
it's just some of it a bit shocking, but interesting. Like, what if someone? This is one of those how it should have ended for the villains. How the villains are going to win is they're trying to assassinate all the heroes before they're put together. You know, kind of things. Um, but yeah, I think the most brutal one was Ant Man inflating Hulk's heart. That was
Oh
just
my
insane.
god.
I
Yeah,
couldn't imagine that. The beauty of animated TV was pretty cool. Um, but yeah, this one was just if the second episode didn't tell you that all bets are off on this one definitely did. Like they're gonna go anywhere they can with this, and just the
absolutely.
idea that what if the world didn't have the Avengers is an interesting premise, you know.
It huge
Mm-hmm.
premise. And what I love most about this show that I guess I didn't expect that many, but it's all the
Mm-hmm.
callbacks.
Yeah.
These are all moments and scenes from Phase One of Marvel movies. It's Thor lifting the hammer after it crash lands in New Mexico. It's um, it's Hawkeye in his crow's nest or whatever he called it, um, holding his arrow. It's Hulk. It's actually Mark Ruffalo Hulk
Mm-hmm.
in the scenes of the Incredible Hulk where it wasn't played by Ruffalo, but it was played by Edward Norton. But
Right.
it's different because you're seeing the Mark Ruffalo Hulk in the movie he was never in. So it's exciting. It's exciting to go back to all these moments and see them play out differently. And that's what I love most about this series is all of these scenarios and situations we're already very familiar with. We've watched all these movies three, four, five, six times. And you have discussions with friends like, hey, well, wouldn't it be cool if blah blah blah? Or like, hey, it would be exciting if blah blah blah. And now you're sort of getting those questions and those scenarios answered with this show. This is my favorite one so far. Hank Pym though, what a twist.
Yeah,
Jesus. Michael
talk about
Douglas was rough.
he went back to his was it falling down movie? What was
Oh.
that movie where he made Michael Douglas famous many years ago?
Oh man.
Kind of went back to that character, but in Hank Pym Ant Man form. You know.
Yeah. And then again, another twist, and I sort of kind of it reminded me a lot of Batman and Superman World's Finest.
Hmm.
There's always like a scenario where the two of them sort of switch roles in order to surprise the enemy.
Right.
And at the finale of this episode, episode three, you have that same situation where Loki takes over as Fury, impersonating Fury, in order to fight off Hank Pym, and you're just sitting there wondering, like, okay, how is Fury doing this? And then after a second or two, because at first he's like really strong,
Hmm.
jumping a little bit higher than a normal guy should. I'm like, is this a cyborg Fury? Is this anything like that? But no, it's actually
Right.
Loki. So I love that twist. Anytime they do that in a comic book setting, I'm all for it. I applaud these guys for doing it, and yeah, it played out beautifully. So very exciting. And now you're adding Captain Marvel to the mix a lot earlier, a lot sooner than we did see her in the actual MCU. So very interesting. And Loki's taken over all of Earth like he never did in the actual MCU. So that throws a whole big freaking wrench in the gears right now. And
Right.
I'm excited to see what that does. Very excited to see what that does. Yeah.
I'm just saying, I really feel like this series is just guys sat around and say, hey, well, what if this happened, what if that happened, and they just put it to life, and I think that's what the appeal of the show really is for this, and it's just
I
fun.
I actually have some theories. Well, it's probably not big theories, right? But
Yeah.
I never think Marvel's gonna half-ass anything. So I told AJ Nightwing, my son, the other day, I'm like, they're probably going to tie all these episodes together further down the show, and he goes, "No, they can't do that." And I'm like, I really think they will.
Hmm.
I don't think that they would miss out on an opportunity to show us what a Infinity War or Endgame level episode or battle would look like in this alternate reality, this alternate universe. So we don't have what we previously knew as the Avengers, but any of these other characters, the Ravagers, I think Captain Carter.
Hmm.
I think we'll all see them converge on a single enemy later on down the road. And I'm not going to claim to know who it is, but it's not going to be Thanos, right? Unless he somehow turns heel later on in the show, which I guess is a possibility. I don't
Right.
know.
Yeah, different multiverse, right? So,
Exactly. So
yeah.
I fully expect Marvel to pull out all the stops and really go for broke towards the end of the show. Maybe do like a two-parter, I would say, and just do like a one big convergence of all these characters and all these storylines where we have to see them come together, unify, fight against a single enemy, and I think that's going to be real exciting. And it'll be very
Okay.
different. No Iron Man, no Captain America that we know of, no
Yeah.
Hawkeye, no Hulk, no Thor. So very different looking scenario, but that's what I'm most
Makes
excited about.
makes you wonder who's going to get put in the place too. If they do replace them with some other candidates. So
Absolutely. And then Wednesday's episode is going to be revolving around Doctor Strange. Very
okay.
curious to see what they do with that. But if you want to check out the Doctor Strange poster, It's up now on our Facebook page. Go ahead and check that out. Any final thoughts on episode 3 of What If?
No, it's just enjoyable. I think it's a fun series, whether you're into the MCU movies or not. It's kind of always fun to say if this had happened, something else could have done happen, and just explore that. I think it's pretty cool. So,
Gotcha, gotcha. We're gonna finish up this episode talking Spider-Man: No Way Home, the trailer that broke all kinds of records around the world. I'm not gonna try and pull up those numbers because they're just crazy big. But we did a trailer instant reaction video where we streamed the trailer. Thank you, Sony, for not blocking that, by the way. Um, we had a lot to say about it initially, and I think even more information has come out since then, primarily focused around how many villains are actually in the trailer. We spotted three, I think, at the time, and
mhm.
now there's even talks as many as five villains were in the trailer. Do you think they're really trying to just go for the Sinister Six right out the gate?
I think that was always the plan, and I think they at least want to have that obviously in there to tease some future that they have some idea. So I wouldn't doubt that there's a plan to do it because I think that was always the talk of this franchise from the very beginning with Tom Holland.
I'm questioning some of the fan theories out there. The lightning we see, yellow lightning by the way, I am willing to bet that is Electro for sure.
Right.
But every time there's either gravel being thrown or dust in the air, fans are going right after Sandman right away. Is there enough evidence in the trailer to you to think Sandman's in the movie, or do you think it's plausible?
Um, I don't know. It's okay. The Sinister Six are who? We have Goblin, Venom.
I don't know.
uh, I want to
I
say Lizard, maybe. I mean, I
yeah,
don't
there's
know.
a king.
Yeah. Let's see. Marvel Sinister Six.
There's so many different variations. I mean, we can go
Mm-hmm.
Goblin, we can go Doc Ock, Electro. Fans are saying Lizard King, Sandman. That's five. You get one more. Um,
Let's see. The original one was Doc Ock, Vulture, Electro, Mysterio, Sandman, and Craven. I mean, you could replace Mysterio with one of the goblins with Norman Osborn, really, because it's
ooh,
the thing that we saw. Um, Sandman, I don't know if we would see Sandman because his story arc kind of got a redemption arc to it at the end of Spider-Man 3.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's the only one I question. But the other ones, yeah, potentially we could see. You know, um,
Fans are already speculating that it is Willem Dafoe's character who is going to appear as Goblin in the movie, which
yeah,
is great. Willem is or Dafoe is always a great villain. It's going to be amazing to see him back again.
yeah.
I would rather see Keaton's Vulture reprise his role, but I know he's already in Venom,
Mhm.
and based on some of the footage we saw from the trailer, it doesn't feel like he's in the MCU. And I know that neither are these guys, but I feel like you're trying to do too much if you're bringing in his character from another alternate universe. Plus, he's not even a bad guy yet. He's sort of he's more of a good guy than he is a bad guy. I don't
Right.
see him playing that villain role. So I don't know. I would like Keaton to be the sixth guy. That's what I would say. If you ask me what I really want, I would want to see a Kingpin character. That'd be even better for me.
I don't think they've ever done sort of a live action one of that too. That'd be pretty cool.
They did
So,
Kingpin in Daredevil,
oh,
and
okay.
so if you get the same guy to do it, he was perfect at it.
Mhm.
Season one, he was pretty good. Season three, he was Kingpin all the way. So I would really prefer you bring back him. Um, yeah, definitely. Any more thoughts on the trailer? I'm trying to remember anything else that we saw. There's been some leaked footage. There's been some leaked photos,
Look,
and
guys, we
go
don't need
ahead.
to see everything about the film. I if that's the only trailer we get, I'm good. I don't want to know the plot details fully. We have a general idea now, but I don't need like any more specifics. Like, I just want to go in the movie and be enjoy what I see. So, um, I haven't watched any leaks. I'm trying to stay away from any of that, photos, whatever. And I hope you guys do out there too. Don't spoil it for people that have been working hard to keep this sort of thing a secret. They want you to see the finished product, uh, and just give it some time, please.
Listen,
Yeah.
this is the biggest question I had, and maybe you have a theory about this, and so I'm gonna ask it now. I had it right after we did the trailer reaction that we ended. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, Doctor Strange is acting super strange
Mm-hmm.
in the trailer. A guy who the last time we saw him in Infinity War and Endgame didn't take a lot of risks. Was
Mm-hmm.
very conservative with regards to doing anything that might put people at risk or putting his realm at risk. Right, the dude's in charge
Right.
of like time and space. Um, so for him to do a spell that has major ramifications could have severe consequences, and if not done correctly, completely shit the bed. Seems way out of character for him. Is
Mm-hmm.
it really Doctor Strange who's pulling this off? Is he being influenced? Do you have any thoughts about that yet? Or is he just arrogant as f right now, and he's just like, yeah, let's do it?
It could be the arrogance, or it could be just the whole multiverse is blown up. You know, he was so very cool, calm, and collected in Infinity War and Endgame because he saw 14 million plus possibilities, right? So
Yeah,
he had to be real precise with that. But for all we know, I mean, for all we know, he might be the only character in this whole thing that's self-aware of the fact that there are other timelines out there that are completely splitting apart. Um, if this is to be believed to be post Loki season one, so
there you go.
um, maybe he's just more chill on that level, you know,
There you go.
or maybe he's just getting bored and he wants to just kind of mess around with things. And this whole travel to a multiverse thing is kind of something new for him. So
That's definitely a possibility. My biggest question is kind of strange for Doctor Strange. The Eye of Agamotto. He's still wearing it.
yeah,
It was crushed in the palm of Thanos in Infinity War, and unless the snap somehow puts that thing back together, which it shouldn't have, I don't understand why he's wearing it right now. Do you have a theory about that?
maybe it's sort of cultural significance. Who knows? I mean that's hard to tell. I mean, obviously we know the time stone's not in there. Maybe there's something else valuable in there, or maybe it's just for the look. you know,
It shouldn't be in there.
it
It
shouldn't
should
be in there,
not.
obviously, but for all we know, maybe he just has some attachment to it because he had it for so long. Whether the time stone would be in there or not, he has the eye with him at all times, just in case for any sort of thing. Or he's found an
We'll,
alternative use for it. So so
I love how Wong's just like, don't do it, and he's like taking off
all
because
right,
it's
I'm
too
not
damn
doing it.
cold in that place. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's exciting. Well, yeah, those were the thoughts that I had after we ended our No Way Home instant reaction video. Did you have anything else that kind of popped up for you?
Nothing for me at this point. I'm just excited to see it. The Doc Ock little cameo was really fun, and I'm
Amazing.
enjoying all the memes out there that are coming out about it. And yeah, this Aunt May looks very different from the previous two that we had before in the other live action Spider-Man. So I'm curious to see if there's any fourth wall kind of jokes around certain things, for the fun of it.
It is exciting. Can't wait. We're only really close to 4 months away from the movie now because the trailer just took so long to come out. So plenty more definitely in store. We get three more Marvel movies this year, sir. We're getting Shang-Chi this weekend. We're getting the Eternals in November, and we're also getting Spider-Man
Spider-Man.
No Way Home in December. So
Mm-hmm.
freaking exciting that we get three Marvel movies over the next 3 months, so 4 months. So that's pretty dope. Yeah, can't wait. If there's anything else you spotted out there, you, the fans, the followers, go ahead and let us know what you spotted in the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. Drop it in the comments, or you can send us a message on Facebook by clicking the send message button, or email us on the contact page of our website at www.countdowntothegeekcast.com. Appreciate all of the likes and the shares this week. Um,
Mhm.
our Facebook notifications have been blowing up. You guys are talking a lot of wrestling. You guys are talking a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, and it's all in good fun. Love chatting with the fans. Keep it going, please. Keep it going.
Proof positive that MJF is the top heel in all of professional wrestling right now. Just that's all I'm gonna say.
Greatest ever, JC. Your thoughts?
Greatest ever. He's got a ways to go from that, but uh,
But he's so young too. He's got
he's
like the sky's
yeah
the limit.
most hated man in wrestling. He's definitely there, and he's the beauty of him is that he's like this outside the ring. You know, when he interacts with people, he'll just be kind of a dick to him and stuff like that. It's fun. So he keeps that character going. It's really hilarious.
That's awesome. Real quick, I'm gonna finish up this episode with some rapid fire headlines. The next installment in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise will not be shown in theaters. It will be streamed on Netflix. We got the rights from Legendary Pictures.
Oh, okay.
It was supposed to drop in 2021. We're running out of time, so hopefully we'll see that very soon. Um, JC's favorite franchise, The Expendables, is developing a new movie. Jason Statham, Dolph Lundgren, Randy Couture, and Sylvester Stallone will all be back. And joining the fold will be Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, Megan Fox, and Tony Jaa.
You had me at Megan Fox, so I'm cool.
You Spectrum TV customers will be glad to know that HBO Max as well as YouTube TV, I believe, have launched on
Hmm.
Spectrum TV. So if you did not have access to HBO Max in your country or wherever you're at, you can now access HBO Max on Spectrum TV. JC, what's the first thing they should watch on HBO Max?
Zack Snyder's Justice League. Hmm.
Set some time up or watch it in parts. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely. We did get some first look photos at the live action Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City reboot. I have really high hopes for that, but I'm not going to be 100% confident in what's going to happen with that show. And
Yeah.
lastly, we did get some sad news. The legendary, fantastic actor Ed Asner passed away this week.
Mhm.
He was the voice of the main character in Up. He was my favorite Santa Claus in Elf. Well,
Mhm.
he's up there with Tim Allen,
Mhm.
but he was a Santa Claus in Elf. He's just a fantastic individual, voiced so many great cartoon characters. Um, our thoughts, our prayers are with his family and his millions of fans that he's accumulated over the years. So we bid a farewell and a thank you very much to the one and only Ed Asner.
Thank you, Mr. Fredrickson. So
And for a great photo of him and Mark Hamill. Go ahead and head on over to our Facebook page. Mark just wrote, "A great man, a great actor, a great life. Thank you, Mr. Asner. R.I.P." Another legend, man.
yeah.
All right. And that'll do it for this episode of the Countdown to the Geekcast. Once again, let us know what your thoughts are on the What If series on Marvel. Episode 4 drops Wednesday. It's all about Doctor Strange. Can't wait to check that out. And if you haven't started watching it, check out the show Heels on the Stars Network as well as the Stars app. And be sure to chat with us about episode 4 next week on Monday night, where our streams are going to be held on from now on the Geekcast. Shang-Chi is also dropping this weekend. Expect our review to drop sometime next week. Very excited to get back to a Marvel movie. You know, Black
Yes.
Widow was definitely a Marvel movie, but this is a brand new character, a brand new story, a brand new origin story. So can't wait to see what that's going to be like.
Mhm.
For the Geekcast, my name is Steady. With me on this episode is the man, the myth, the legend, you know him as JC.
Thank you, everyone, for watching and listening. Be sure to tune in live on the Geekcast, the WrestleCast tomorrow. We'll be previewing AEW All Out, which is stacking up to be a major, major event with everything else going on. So definitely come check us out. Mhm.
Going to be fantastic. Follow us on Twitter at CCG underscore podcast. We're also on Instagram. And if you haven't already, subscribe to us on YouTube. Appreciate all the new subscribers. Can't wait to talk to you guys on the Rest of the Cat Show tomorrow night. Have a good night, folks. We'll see you then.
See ya.